again. It's a Rhinestone.
Welcome back to another video, guys. I am so sorry this video is so late. So this is my birthstone series for July, and the birthstone for July was Ruby. These was supposed to be done well over a week ago, but unfortunately I had to drop what I was doing very early one morning and go and care for my mum. You know, she comes first, so I do apologise, but I still wanted to get them out there. So let's get on with it. So I'm just gluing my tips on. I'm just using long coffin today, nothing too extreme, just getting those glued on. I'm using regular nail glue. I have scratched up the surface of what would be the natural nail. I've scratched that up a little bit with a buffer before I glued these on. And then I'm just filing up the sides, make sure there's none hanging over. And where I've glued the tips on, I always like to file them side wings right down. And these tips are curved on the end, so I'm just making them deadly flat as well. And yeah, just where it's been glued on, I'm just blending that in with what would be the natural nail. And again, with the buffer, I'm going to scratch up that surface and get all the shine off those nail tips. Right, so that's all my tips on, nice and clean, ready to go. I'm going to give them a quick coat using Born Pretty base coat. Nice thin coat, and yeah, really rub it into all them scratches. And I'm going to stick that in the lamp for 30 seconds. And guys, my camera stopped recording. I'm so sorry. But what I've done is I've painted the pointer finger black, and I've painted the pinky about 3/4 of the way up with black, and they've been cured. Right, so I'm using Born Pretty clear builder gel. I'm not building the nail, I'm just putting a thin, even coating of this builder gel over the black nail. And I'm not going to cure that builder gel. I'm going to cover it with a little bit of plastic, just the same way you do icicle nails. And I'm going to poke it with a dotting tool, anything sharp, just to create like edges and ripples, and you'll see why in a minute. I wanted to make this look like silk, so I've cured that, and when you peel it off, can you see it gives you that? People do icicle nails with this. I'm going to use it to make it look like silk, and I'm using a red chrome powder. So for chrome powder you need a no wipe top coat, so I'm giving this a no wipe top coat, keeping that top coat as thin as I can, because I didn't want to lose any of that texture. And that's why I've done that coat of black as well, because you need to put chrome powders over a black. So that's been cured now. I'm just going to rub this chrome powder into that no wipe top coat fresh out the lamp. Guys, look at this, it is beautiful, and it really does just look like silk. So I'll just give you a quick little close-up of that. Isn't it cool? Right, I'm going to seal that in now using a base coat. I've used a base coat because I need to build this nail. I need to build the apex and everything. So I wanted a tacky layer. So I've just used base coat and cured that in the lamp. I've done exactly the same on that bottom half of the pinky as well. Right, so I'm using my base one cover light, and these two middle nails are going to be the same. I'll just show you doing this one. So I'm starting like I always do with a slip layer, with a wet layer, just covering that whole nail with a wet layer, and this just helps your next bead that you put on, it just glides so much easier and smoother down the nail. So I'm going in with quite a small bead to start with, and I always like to just push it and tuck it into my cuticle and then tap it down my sides like that. And if you point your finger downwards, it will naturally start to drip by itself. This builder is quite a runny one actually, so you do have to work quite fast. And I'm just guiding it with my brush, just swiping side to side, making sure my sides are covered. Swipe it up and down them sides like that. And I'm just going to give that a quick half a cure for 30 seconds. And then this next bead, a little bit of a bigger bead, exactly the same as what I've just done, tucking it into my cuticle area and just tapping it down my sides. I did touch my skin, what would be the skin, So get that wiped off straight away if you're doing it on someone's real hands. Anything on the skin like that, get it straight off. So again, point my finger downwards and I'm just going to swipe it and guide it all the way down, keeping it quite thin at that tip area. And then I'm just going to swipe up and down my sides, make sure all my sides are covered. And again, I'm going to give that just a quick half a cure for 30 seconds. And then the last bead that I put on, I want to build a bit of an apex. These are long nails, so they're going to need a bit of strength in that stress area. So this last bead, I pretty much leave the most of it up in that top third area. You'll see, same thing, I took it into my cuticle area and my side walls. But then I'm going to leave it up in that top third. I've just pulled a little bit of it down. And I'm just going to pull a little bit of it down the sides as well, keeping that tip really thin. And yeah, it's quite a runny builder, so it does level out by itself. It's quite easy to work with. I'll leave the link below for this. Actually, if you go to my Amazon store, the link is below. You'll find links to all this stuff that I use from Amazon. Right, so that is both of those middle nails built now. I'm going on to my pinky. I just wanted to do a little bit of a nail bed fade. So same thing, I'm starting out by getting it tucked into my cuticle and down my sides. But with this, I'm just gonna pull tiny little bit of it down and just fade it off down over that silky chrome design. And that's gonna get a full 60 seconds cure. So quickly now, I'm going to get these nails encapsulated. The pointer and the pinky, these nails, they are very flat. There's no structure or strength or shape or anything. So I'm going in with a wet layer, and exactly the same way I did those middle nails, I'm just going to use a couple of beads just to build the nail exactly the same way as I built those middle two. This first bead, quite a small one, just to get that design completely encapsulated. And then I do go in with a second bead just to leave up in that top area to give the nails a bit of strength. And I think I did the pinky off camera, it's exactly the same. Right, so that is all the nails completely built now, ready for a little bit of filing and shaping. Not much shaping to do with Builder Gel, so I'll just quickly show you this pointer finger. So like always, I go straight up my sides first and get them completely straight. And then I just start at my cuticle area, make sure that cuticle area is nice and flush and blended in nicely with my natural nail. And then I just swipe up and down that whole nail, making sure it's completely flat, there's no bumps, no dips. And yeah, just keep looking at that nail from all different angles, making sure it's the same on both sides. Keep swiping it over, rounding it off on my sides, and then I'm going to make sure my tip is really nice and straight, really nice and flat. And that is that nail pretty much done. Yeah, I'll get the rest of these filed and buffed off camera. So that's them all filed and buffed. I've pulled out this glitter. This is from Colours World and it is number TCT415. If I remember, I'll leave this collection linked below. It's a collection of 12 and it is stunning. It is holographic, super sparkly. If you look closely, this is called Disco Hex Mix, and you can see why. It's got a little disco kind of texture on it and it's holographic. It is beautiful. So I'm going to use a base coat. I'm only putting glitter on this one nail, the ring finger. I'm going to put the glitter straight into this wet base coat. I just wanted a little sprinkle of glitter kind of fading down from the top. So I'm going to pack it in quite busy right at the top in that cuticle area, and then use some of the smaller bits. It's actually a really nice glitter for using at the cuticle area. It's super thin, and the hex, they're not that big either. So I'm just going to use some of the smaller hex and the fine just to fade it off and yeah, just sprinkle it off down that nail. And then that I'm going to give that a cure so it all stays in place. So what I ended up doing, guys, I ended up giving this glitter nail two coats of base coat, just so that I could give it a buff and get that nail really smooth before I top coated it, because obviously the glitter's a bit lumpy bumpy. It is a really thin glitter though, so I just gave it 2 thin coats of base coat and just went over it with a little buffer like that, just to get it completely smooth, ready for top coat. So I'm using my favourite top coat, Born Pretty Super Top Coat. Somebody wrote in my comments I do my top coat too fast, and she loves watching nails come to life with a top coat. So I've slowed it right down today, and I've tried to capture, I'm really rubbish at doing top coat cam, but I've tried my best today to capture the nails coming to life with a top coat. Just for you. Right, let's get these nails finished off. So I've pulled out obviously some red rhinestones. I'm using some gold ones as well. And I'm just going to do what I usually do, cure as I go. Do a few rhinestones, cure them, do a few more, cure them. And I'm going to add a load of little caviar beads in between my gems today. I've left little gaps in these rhinestones on my cuticle area. I don't normally do it like this, but I wanted to put bigger caviar beads in between them like that today, just something different. Yeah, I'll let you watch, guys, and I'll see you back at the end. So there we go, better late than never. That is my July Ruby Birthstone series set of nails done, and I absolutely love them. I love those silky effect nails. I think they are really effective, and actually they're very easy to do, and you could do them with any colour, you really could. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. I'll leave a playlist at the end if you want to catch up on the rest of my Birthstone series. Links for everything I've used today will be in my description box. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and hopefully I'll see you all back in my next one. Take care, bye.